Hey everybody, so today I wanted to share 5 mental reframes or mental shifts that have helped me sort of navigate through pain, chronic pain, whether it's sciatica or any other type of pain that you may have. People always ask, like, how do you push through it? How do you keep going? That sort of thing. So sometimes I use these, what I call mental sort of reframes and shifts, and they're super helpful for me. Now, I totally recognize that everybody's pain is different, and what everybody's situation is different. I would never want to mitigate how you're feeling or what you're going through, because I know what that feels like. So I hear you. So the reason I'm saying that is because I want to say that I totally recognize that you may watch this whole video and you'd be like, this did nothing for me. This is dumb, and I get that, right? It's not going to work for everybody. It might not work for anybody but me, but it helps me, so I thought I'd share it. So I say all that because you want to work with your healthcare professionals to ensure you're getting the right treatment for you. Number one is, if you can, if it's possible, try to reprogram your fears. Depending on how long you've been dealing with a certain issue or problem, what may happen is that you start to get avoidance, right? And what that means is, depending on something that's painful, you may subconsciously try to avoid it. So, for example, for me, way back when, stairs, it'd be super painful to go upstairs, or going upstairs would lead to a flare. So I picked up on it, right? I recognized that, okay, I'm noticing this. And I think a big part of it is self-awareness. If you can improve or hone your self-awareness skills, that will help you with everything in life, but in this specific setting, it can help you, is to recognize, okay, I'm noticing that, I'm avoiding this. Why? Okay. And then, is there anything I can do that would help alleviate that pain or, or prevent it? So for example, I did a video on stairs, climbing stairs, because what helped me is I noticed that it would be, okay, getting that core engaged and then sort of tightening the glutes and whatever it was doing. I'm not a physio. The physios can probably explain it better than I can, but it would help me get upstairs, and then I noticed that, okay, I was able to do that pain-free. It didn't work all the time, right? But in some cases, it helped. And one quick point I want to make before we move on is, if you are able to find something that helps you when you're in pain, so let's use that stairs example. Early days and when you first start, it might actually even be helpful to, really exaggerate it. At least it did for me. So it was kind of like, really squeeze that core and the glutes, go up the stairs, and it's like, okay, I didn't feel as much pain, right? But then it goes back to that self-awareness concept, where you want to be conscious of how much you're doing that, how much you're tightening your core, your glutes, and you're tuning it for that specific activity. And over time, hopefully, it's the pain goes down and you don't have to tune it as much. Because I do personally believe that, for something like that, you shouldn't have to consciously think about, tightening your core or your glutes when you're going upstairs. But when you're in a state of, being in pain and hurt, if it helps you, then I think it's good to do that. And it tells you a lot about yourself. And it's like, okay, muscles here, and and why are they helping me, and that sort of thing, which is all good. Number two, pain is not doom, it's data. So again, not taken away from what anybody's feeling, right? But I think sometimes for myself, I notice that you get into this state of, oh my God, this is so painful. Like, is this it? Is this what my life is ever going to end, right? And it's human to feel like that, right? Pain by definition is one of the worst things you could feel. If you can note when you're feeling it, why you're feeling it, and then maybe you can draw some patterns or some trends, that can help you. It serves as data, being like, okay, this thing is causing me pain. Why? And maybe from there, it helps you find a solution. So obviously, not crazy enough to say, go fall in love with the pain, but every time I would feel pain, I'd be like, okay, this caused it, going upstairs caused it. Is there anything that I can sort of glean from that and see why I would be encountering pain going upstairs? Okay, what muscles would potentially help with that sort of things. And then also, if you can see what's helping it, that can also give you a lot of clues as well. So that helped me. The next one is the old you. I think depending on what kind of pain you're in, how long you've been in it, right? Sometimes you can fall into this sort of mourning of your old self, I think is sort of the best way to put it. And again, very easy and very natural, very human to feel like that, right? You start thinking about all the things maybe you were doing before. But the way I look at it is you're still that person. You're still physically that person, right? And you have to realize that you will get out of this. And then when you get out of this, what type of a person you will be, right? You'll be a stronger version of yourself because you have gone through this challenge, this hardship that not many other people have gone through. Yes, you know, there's challenges that this person has that that person did not have. However, there's now strength that this person has and knowledge about your body, you know, the treatments that work for you, the medications, the physical therapy, and that sort of thing. About yourself that the other person, the former you, didn't have, right? So knowing that can be helpful. It's like, you know, you've gone through these challenges that maybe other people haven't had. Think about, you know, what that's done for you. You've learned to be versatile. You've learned to navigate. Didn't give up. All of that is super important. The next one is, you know, it's sort of cheeky, but pain, injuries, all of these things can be super overwhelming. We all know that. But I try to flip it. You know, I try to see, how can I overwhelm it? How can I overwhelm the problem? How can I overwhelm the injury? How can I overwhelm the pain? And the way I look at it is, you know, as many angles as you can attack the problem, right? You know, whether it's physical therapy, whether it's mental therapy, whether it's this, whether it's that. What can I do to, you know, I'm going to make this problem smaller, right? In comparison to me. Every single person who's watching this has some sort of skill set and something that they're good at, right? And if you can frame this thing to be that type of problem, and look at it that way, that can always be super helpful. As an example, just to unpack it a little bit, if you're somebody who went to the gym, or you're competitive, or you're in sports, well, this is your sport now. This is your gym now. This is the problem you're trying to solve. And even if you're not, you know, you come from a different background, or you didn't go to the gym, and you know, your work is physical, or it's a desk job. If you can sort of frame it based on how you've been trained, right, as a problem and how you can solve it, looking at it like that, that's been helpful for me. So the last one, number 5, is sort of similar to number 3, but it's really more forward-looking and thinking about the future and visualizing the future. And it's thinking about, okay, you dealt with this problem for how long? What did you have to go through? And look at everything you still accomplished in your life while you were dealing with that. Similar to what I was saying before, think about everything that you've learned. Think about how strong you mentally and physically have become, and what that's going to do for you in the future. And even using knowledge as an example, you're now more aware of your body where other folks may not be. And then later on, you know, as you get older and as you age, well, now you're more in tune with your body because you had gone through this, right? So those are 5 mental reframes or 5 mental models that help me. You know, I'm speaking as somebody who's gone through this, is going through this. I know what it's like. It can be very isolating when you're sitting there, frustrated, exhausted. You don't know what to do, and not only that, you're in pain. You know, so I always say to people, it's like sometimes, you know, you're like, you have to make decisions, but you're on fire, and it's like, you know, how do you even figure out what to do? So I get that, and I wanted to share what's worked for me. It may not work for you, and not to downplay again what anybody's going through, but if it can help one person, then I'd be happy. So hopefully it helps. Let me know.